Asians and Caucasians podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Asians and Caucasians podcast, episode 4. So we are podcasting out of Urban Cultural Arts, and you can come hang out with me, Mr. R&B, and we have my good friend Fonzie here with me.
Konnichiwa. Welcome, you all.
Whatever the hell he just said.
That's
and
Japanese.
Then we have a special guest in the building with us today, Miss HazelLove. So why don't you give us a round of applause?
Hello, beautiful people.
All right, so here we are. We don't even know what we're really going to talk about because we weren't set for this, but
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. So we definitely want to get Miss HazelLove out on the platforms too as well. So she is a good friend here and helps us out at Urban Cultural Arts, and this is where we're podcasting out of. So make sure you guys do check out Urban Cultural Arts. Big shout out to us to film our podcast here.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is an awesome space here.
Yeah,
yes,
so
it is. It looks great. Yeah, I love what you've done with the place.
First room. Now we're gonna do the rest of the building.
You know what you're missing?
What?
Candles. You need candles in here, sure.
All right, this is
don't want to burn
this
down
is
the
a
place.
man cave, though. This is a man cave.
Oh yeah, it's a man cave.
This is not Bath and Body Works.
It could be Bath and Body Works, but you need candles.
But
then
anyways,
we need a tub and some Lush bombs and everything.
All that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so but anyways, back to the subject here. Miss HazelLove has a few things she wants to discuss with us, as well as her own goals and
her journey.
Yeah, her journey. So we're gonna hand it over to Miss HazelLove. So go ahead.
All right. Well, first, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with y'all today. So for those of y'all that don't know me, I am a poet here in Green Bay locally. I host events at Urban Cultural Arts Center. So if you ever want to come to one of my poetry nights, definitely check out the page. You can see all upcoming events. I'm also in school for psychology. So from time to time, I do have different events that relate to mental health or healing or, trauma, things like that. One of my next projects I'm working on is I'm coming out with a podcast called Passionate Perspectives. Okay, so my podcast is basically going to be about giving the platform for different people to pretty much talk about their perspective. So for example, my first episode is going to be called What Women Want, and I'm going to have a few different women that are pretty known in Green Bay talking about their perspective on what they want in a man, what they want out of life, things that they like, things they don't like, toxic traits that we all find attractive, some of the situations that they've been through, things like that. So yeah, that's...
So, wow.
We're definitely going to have
I'm
to
definitely going to have to, I might be in the background listening to that one.
Might be all my toxic traits.
It's real nice. I've already started coming up with like some of the questions, sending them to some of the ladies, and they're pretty excited about it. So yeah.
And what else do you have going on? You said you have poetry nights. Mm-hmm. You host poetry nights here at Urban Cultural Arts.
Yes,
so
I do.
Last week I believe we had the
suicide event.
The suicide awareness event held at Stage 1. Shout out to Stage 1 for throwing that little event. It's always good to have a community be a part of that stuff too. So tell us a little bit about that. Give us a little recap on it.
Yeah, so the event itself was really, really nice. I kind of was sitting in my room one day and I was reflecting on when I was going through mental health issues and when I was having suicidal thoughts and going through depression many years ago. And I started Googling some of the things that I was feeling, and then something popped up saying that this was the same month of suicide prevention. So I remember texting one of my friends, like, I think I want to do a suicide prevention event. But it was just like an idea. I honestly didn't think it would flourish the way that it did and turn into what it turned into. But it was beautiful. I was very excited about it. People came out. There was a panel discussion that turned out really nice. So I had different people from the community from different perspectives or standpoints, pretty much talking about mental health and things that they see with mental health. We talked about suicide, some of the symptoms. We had people on the panel that have experience with suicide.
That's what I thought about. As I was filming and listening, it was like you would never, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you pass people on the street and you never expect it.
You never think.
You know what I'm saying?
You
like
never think.
That's why when I was listening to the panel, I'm like, wow, like damn, like this is deep.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So that, I mean,
You
it definitely
never know what
opened-
anybody's going through.
You don't. Depression, I'm sorry, is the silent killer.
Depression.
And a lot of times, if it's untreated, it can lead to suicide. And I think one of the toughest things is a lot of people, one, don't know how to express that they're having those feelings because we tend to ostracize the people that are having depressive thoughts and things like that. Us as people, you know, that have people we care for, we don't always know how to support them.
That's true.
So I had a brother, he's my cousin, but he was like a brother to me. He committed suicide when I was younger. And I had a friend commit suicide. So it's something that has always been like, you know, in my mind somewhere because I've seen it, you know, at such a young age. I think I was maybe 9 when he committed suicide. Yeah, you know,
a lot of traumatization.
And a lot of people, when they're going through those thoughts or just feeling like that, sometimes there's really nothing that you can say. You could literally say all the right things, and to them, you know, once that decision is made, it's made. And so it's really tough in our community.
Because depression is it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago, I related to kind of like a long time ago where with the homosexuality, people didn't think it was real. They just thought, oh, you're not born that way. You know, you can always change your mind and do this. And sometimes for me, myself, I suffer from depression and such. And I attempted suicide a long time ago. And even my own family and such, they think, oh, you're just weak, or we can get over that, or we don't really believe you have a mental sickness. You're just not strong enough. We can, you know, come talk to us, and we can change you and do this other things. I'm like, well, one, you know, if you really don't believe that I'm sick, then how can you really help me? So, so that's the thing. And they're always like, well, why don't you come talk to us? I'm like, well, you don't even believe me, so how can you help me? So that's number one right there.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
always
never
like,
thought
hey,
about it like that,
I
though.
try to come out and
Honest.
talk to people, but even to my closest friends or people I know all the time, and they'll be like, if they look at my wrist and say, what's that? I'm like, oh, I attempted suicide 5-6 years ago. They're like, what? You look so, you know, well put together. You have so many things going for you, but we don't understand why someone that's you in your place in this world would have that problem.
It's good that you're here. That's what we're happy about. You're here.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Your surrounding and a lot of people that you had too around you couldn't. They gave up on themselves, really.
Yes.
Honest, real shit. Yeah. They weren't. They say they want to help you, but it's more of like a pity help.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we're good. We're glad that you're here. I'm like, damn, you're the happiest motherfucker on earth.
One of the things I've learned is when people have that mental sickness or whatever, just like it's like you going to work every day. You have to go to work, get yourself up, and make yourself ready to go to work. But even though you don't feel like it, you fake it. So people with mental illness, we don't fake having a mental illness. We fake being normal and regular so we can fit in. But deep inside, you have all those struggles and everything. It's just like going to work sick. You know, you have a small cough or this, whatever. It's like, okay, just let me gut it out, and I need to get through these things. And so you fake being well, and you fake doing your work, your daily life.
Well, there we go. We got our own a little point of view from Fonzie over here too. Yeah. So, well, we're glad you're good and you're alive. So
yes, definitely.
Hey, so that's grandpa to me anyway.
Not grandpa.
That's my grandpa.
It's only because I'm so old.
What made you, Miss HazelLove, to put it all together? What was like? What drew that little trigger to say, "Hey, man, I got to do this"?
When somebody told me I couldn't do it.
When somebody told you
I
couldn't
called one
do
of my
it.
cousins, and I was like, I'm about to plan a suicide prevention event here in Green Bay. And she was like, what? You're not even... She kind of said, like, I don't have the title to do it yet, and, you know, I should wait until I'm licensed and things like that. So I feel like when that conversation alone really made me feel like, nah, I gotta do it, because now you doubted me, so now I gotta show you I could do it.
So you need a license just to hear someone out?
Yeah, and you know the crazy part, right? And I'm not gonna say no names, but when I was actually reaching out to organizations like for sponsors and stuff, I had a couple organizations even say like, who gave you permission to do this?
You shouldn't.
So
place
just
that
bringing awareness?
Yeah, they felt like somebody that was more
Name recognition.
Yeah, like, you know, that, or already had a license as a... My thing is, like, for the event, I'm not going there to tell people how, you know, I'm not diagnosing nobody. I'm not solving your problems. I'm simply trying to bring awareness and prevention and give the people that I know have those, you know, degrees and stuff like that. I want to give them the platform, because 9 times out of 10, if you're dealing with suicide, you're not going to just walk into a counselor's office if
No.
you're already somebody who does not, share their feelings well, and say, I'm contemplating suicide. So let me put it on social media, because that's where we are 80% of our lives.
And I think personally, you don't need to have that counseling license or psychiatry license in order to help somebody.
Right.
Basically, all you need to do is just be there for them, to listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people forget. It's like, oh, I don't know how to help you, but no, just be there for them.
Just
Whatever
have
you can do,
them,
whether you can sit there and talk or listen, take a walk with them, cook with them, watch a movie, hold them or whatever. Do whatever that person needs at that time, because they don't need somebody to say, diagnose you and say, okay, this is exactly what's wrong with you and this is how to help you. That's good too. It's good to
Right.
know what's wrong, but also sometimes they just need to have a valve or an outlet to hey, express themselves and then be accepted.
Right. Or even just know that they have other outlets.
Yes.
Seasonal depression is something that's very, very common in today's society, where,
Yes.
winter is typically the most depressive month for everybody. So I feel like if a lot of people just kind of find different outlets, or even just know what resources are
Winter's
available
the
to
most
them.
depressing.
Yeah, like when we did research, winters
No
are
way. I
Lack of
love
sunlight.
winter.
of the seasons.
Lack of
winter
sunlight.
is lack of sunlight. That's one of the
What?
reasons. That's definitely
Yes.
one of the reasons. Yes.
I don't believe that.
Yes.
Because I like winter.
You're just well, but
like
you're different.
winter.
You have a different mindset, and then with winter, you're able to go out and do things. Some
Yeah.
people in winter, where there's less sunlight, they don't get enough sunlight. They're not active enough. So it's a whole body thing.
Right.
Alaska.
Yep. And then on top of that, winter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, those are family. That's really a family oriented. A lot of people don't
have family.
that family anymore,
You're
or
right.
they do have them, but they don't go around, or so
Or
it's
they
really
lost
tough
family.
for some people. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
So during, especially those holidays, because it's like you said, it's family oriented, and if you don't have family or you have lost family, it triggers past memories of loss.
It was awesome, Miss HazelLove, that you hosted that. A lot of amazing people came out to support you as well. Yeah, so
Thank you again to everybody that came, that participated. Thank you to all the sponsors. It was a dope event.
that was awesome, and we're gonna take a quick, short commercial break here. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. So stay tuned, y'all.
Asians and Caucasians podcast.
All right, so welcome back to the second part of the number 4 episode here with Asians and Caucasians. So we still have the special guest in the building here, Miss Ashley HazelLove, and this segment we'll be talking to her about the new podcast that she has in mind on her life journey and agenda.
Yes,
so
yes,
here we go. So why don't you give us a little bit of
Intro.
overall? Yeah.
Okay, so Passionate Perspectives, man. I came up with the name because a lot of my friends, one thing that they all say that they like about me is that I can put things in perspective. Like, I try to always see a situation from somebody else's perspective. And I'm typically really good at that. So I feel like a lot of times when you have like issues with somebody, it's not even necessarily that you're wrong or they wrong. Y'all have different perspectives. And when you're only thinking about what you want from somebody or what you want out of a situation, it's
your
hard
point
to
of view,
kind of
yeah.
see their perspective. And I feel like if we all found a way to kind of understand other people's perspective, because we all come from different walks of life. We got,
Definitely.
people that were born in poverty. We got people that were born in middle class, people that were born rich. We have people that were born with religion, people that were born without it. We have people that were born into same-sex homes, people that were born into homes where that's a shame. You're ashamed of that type of stuff. And all of these things form who we are, how we think, and why we do the things that we do. So if I could kind of find a way to get some of those on a platform together, I felt like it would be something interesting to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really
So
good.
it's going to be mostly. So it's going to be male and female.
Yes,
Not
so-
just one-sided. Right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I mean, I do have a couple episodes where it's like, I only want to hear from the women.
Okay.
Like the very first episode is going to be called What Women Want. And so I'll have 4 or 5 different females that are, to me, of different calibers, different lifestyles, different
backgrounds.
walks of life, different backgrounds. And we're all going to talk about what do we want? Because I feel like that is the most bullshit question that men ask. What do you want? Well, half the time we don't know. But
All right,
the things we do
there's
know.
our answer, men. They don't know.
Yes.
Half the time we don't know. We think we want this, and then you give it to us. It's like something is still missing. So we want something else. So I feel like if we can kind of put that into perspective, some of y'all would just stop acting so dumb, stop asking so many questions. Just give us what we want, and we is gonna be happy campers. You know, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, but from what you want, a lot of times, well, not just male or female, like men, they always say that we want to do this and do this, but a lot of times they're only spouting out what they've learned and what's cool for them to sound like from a guy's perspective,
Right?
With the from their their homies, and say, hey, if I say this, I'm gonna sound like this. If I say this, then I'm gonna sound like this. You know, so they're always wondering and trying to check themselves. Mm-hmm. And to me, I think, hey, just be yourself.
That's everybody though. Like everybody practices that shit in the mirror.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, everybody does that. They get themselves ready for the answer. You know what I'm saying?
Ready for the
they
answer.
do. Y'all don't talk to yourselves in the mirror?
I definitely
No,
talk to
I
myself
Hell
now.
yeah, I do.
Not in
I
the
do
mirror.
talk to myself.
I'll
Well,
definitely
don't
talk to
stare at
myself in my
yourself
head.
too long
Yeah.
because you might go fucking crazy and shit. Yeah, so.
Only thing I do in the mirror is shave, and maybe every once in a while I'll record myself how I dance. That way, no.
Like
whether I
flexing?
look
Do you
good or
flex
not.
in the mirror?
No, I don't flex in the mirror.
What?
You're a fucking liar.
Listen, I have 3 mirrors in my room, and they are my best friends. I do everything in that mirror. I do everything. I got 3 different. I got a full body. I got one that just see my face, and then I got one that's like from here to here.
Oh my.
And yup.
Well, there we go. Now we know. Now we know.
Yeah.
I
Now
only
we
use the
know.
mirror when I need to shave and when I cut my own hair, and that's about it.
Okay.
Another episode that'll come out after that called What Men Really Think. And one of the things that I'm going to do in that episode is I'm going to, with the permission of whatever bar I go to, put up like a camera and just watch women walk in and just hear men's thoughts when they actually see women.
Oh, okay.
Because if you think about
me
it,
for
a
that.
lot of us women, we look at
What?
ourselves and we go, oh, this fupa. But if a man sees a fine woman with some nice thighs, whatever he like, the last thing he think about is that fupa.
Is there
But
what?
that's what we think. That's what we think. Like,
Explain that to
our fupa.
to Grandpa over
Yeah,
here.
what is
to
fupa?
Fonzie over here.
That is a new term for me.
fupa,
See, he
is
doesn't know. It's
fatter upper pussy area. That is a fupa. So it's like the pouch right above your pelvic area that just, a lot of women that have
Holy
kids, you
shit.
have a fupa.
Oh, okay.
And we be trying to get rid of that fupa. But, you know, men love fupas. They
That's
love
that
the
little
fupa.
belly?
It's the little belly. It's
like
the little
I got a
headrest.
dad bod. I have a gut.
Yeah, I
That's
have
about it.
I have a gut too.
Yeah.
It applies to women.
Okay. All right. I was like, what?
Hence the P in
Okay.
fupa.
Yeah, okay.
For the male, it's instead of P, it is the pelvic area.
The pelvic area.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely have a
Okay,
fupa.
alright.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Not a fupa. Oh wow.
Grandpa's got one.
Right? Oh my Lord.
Oh yeah, I know you're staring at it right now.
Oh shit! But I think that would be a good idea to have that camera sit. I've seen a lot on social media where they have a lot of women do that now, where they put it in their back pocket. To me, right? You work hard for your body, right? That's anybody. And I'm like, women, like the women, they want a certain caliber of man to only look at them. Real shit.
Yeah, that's 666.
So you're like, oh, you're like,
666.
I know about that at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
so they're like, they're like filming them, and people will be like, God damn, like, they do that double take, and I was like, wow, these ladies are actually walking around with the cameras out like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be dope though.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that would be dope
think
just
so,
to catch
too.
the reaction. I might look a couple
And then
times.
one thing that my brother said, we went out like one night and he was like looking at different women as they come in. And he's typically a pretty attractive guy. When we're out, people like try to either fake slide him their number because they think we're a couple, or they just come out and start talking to him like, is this your girl? And I'm like, babe, I'm his sister. But so like he was pointing at women as they were walking in.
So
and
you
he
the
was,
wingman.
I'm the wingman.
That's
Yeah,
what I
I'm
was
the
gonna say.
wingman. I'm the wingman.
You two need T-shirts. I'm his sister.
Yeah,
I'm
you
her
said
brother.
that
Yeah.
because dudes started doing the same
Yeah,
thing. Like they'll try to talk to me on the low, not knowing like this
That's
is
only
my
my
whole
brother.
brother. But you're
Yeah.
so trifling because you thought this was my man.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
mean,
yeah.
we just gotta know the boundaries though. I
Yeah,
mean, you know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
You
That's
can-
true.
You
That's
can't be
true.
like, hey, what's up, girl?
So yeah,
Like,
they just like
what
fake
the
slide it.
Okay.
But he was just saying how like a lot of times a man who's already confident in himself, he can see a confident woman. He can see a woman who walks in very insecure. He can see a woman who, like, he can just peep that energy. And I don't think a lot of women notice that or realize that when they're going out. Like, there's certain things that a man might pick up on that we think they find attractive that they might not, or certain things that we think that they care about and they're like, I don't give a damn about that.
I think it's basically, like you said before, it's your own personal perspective. Yep. I might see somebody and I think that's attractive, and my best friend right here might look at her and say, oh no, she's not attractive to me.
Right, exactly. So yeah.
Everybody's got their own little cup of tea.
Their own little cup of tea, right? You know?
Well, I'm ready to see that episode.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you want to cover in your podcast with passionate perspective?
So I want to cover different topics, like from women's standpoint, from men's standpoint. I want to get an episode where I have married couples talking about some of the things that they've overcame, some of the problems that they face, because a lot of times I feel like we look at married couples and if you see them seasoned, you see a perfect picture. And a lot of times people don't know a lot of the cuts and curves and rocks and all this stuff that they had to go through to get to that point. Like, a lot of people that I've talked to that are married, they're like, it was one point I couldn't even stand coming home. Like, and it's so hard to believe because you look at people so happy and you're like, y'all have always been best friends. No, there was one point I didn't even want to come home. I was ready to pack my stuff. People don't see that. So I feel like putting that on the platform would be nice.
Yeah, that's how social media is.
Yes, it portrays that.
A lot of, I'm not, you only put the good up.
Yep.
So the people only see the good. I'm like, dude, I put up the good, the bad, the
The ugly, all of that.
I'm like Kevin Hart. Shout out to Kevin Hart, man. If you ever listen to this, man, you gave me that one motto, man. I'm gonna give you everything.
Yep.
He came up with this little comedy stand up, and he was like, I'm gonna talk shit about my kids,
Everything.
my wife.
He do.
I'm gonna talk
And
about
he do.
Yeah, like
He
I'm like
definitely
that. I'm like I'm
Because
not
we ain't
gonna
perfect. We can only be us.
You're covering up so many lies and so much dirt, and then we find your ass on the Channel 2 News on some crazy ass shit that happened.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, dude, like, talk about it though, you know?
That's also a lot for society. They only want to see the good. They want to see, okay, I need to aspire to somebody, like the keeping up with like the Kardashians and like, oh, I want to be like that.
Lord,
be like that.
Man, that's
to me, that's
stupid.
just a bunch of BS.
It's dressed up.
That's
My
all
mama used to say it's dressed up poop. That's what it is. It's dressed up poop. I brought a guy home one day. She said, baby, that's dressed up poop. I said, mama, he looked good. He a dog. He a dog. I'm like, and she was right. He was a dog. Mama called it. He was a dog. But I think another thing that I feel like we're trained to do at such a young age is keep it together.
Yes.
Like, even in my household, it was always, one, what happens in this household stays in this household. And two, you never look like what you're going through. When you walk out this door, you look presentable.
Yes.
And I feel like because that's put in our heads at such a young age, we kind of mask it like so much to the point where other people were idolizing these celebrities as if they're not people. And when they mess up, it's, oh my God, I can't believe this person is human. They happen to have a talent that they're making millions doing, but they're human just like all of us.
Yes.
Asians and Caucasians podcast.
Yeah, because we want to know what be going through y'all damn heads. Like,
how about we do a little
let's do a
segment
trial.
right here?
All right,
let's do a little
trial. Since you got us two males
All right, here we go.
Like me, Fonzie, I'm older. I'm 50, divorced, and single right now.
And my
buddy,
grandpa.
Mr. R&B.
So, I am married. You see how sad I sound?
oh, sure.
No comment.
We're cutting that one out. No, we're leaving that in. This for Kevin. We're leaving that in. This is for Kevin Hart. Yeah, so
right.
I'm married. Yeah, so got two beautiful kids, and
Yes.
I'm holding on.
Holding on. All right, don't let it go.
So what do you want to throw at us, Miss?
Okay, so what are the 3
Oh, we getting deep.
deal breakers for y'all?
You want to go first, or
break
you want
down
me?
a deal breaker?
Yes,
What is a
3,
deal breaker?
3 deal breakers.
What is a deal breaker?
Deal breaker is it does not matter how much I like you. It does not matter how intimate we are. This means no. This goes no further.
Yeah, like I'm stopping here. Like
Yeah, I'm
not gonna
stopping
see you
here.
anymore.
Nothing else matters. I just
Nothing
can't.
else matters. Okay,
Yep.
we're ending it right here. That's a deal breaker.
Yep. Y'all could have just had the best passionate sex this morning. It don't matter. I found this out. I saw this. I felt this. I'm done.
You know what? I'm gonna stay about this conversation.
You're already married,
Right,
so
we
don't
better
worry,
not, because
see?
you're gonna be on my divorce episode if we push too much.
Well, then he might smile at
Episode
that.
6.
Lord.
Hey, Ashley, you remember that one episode?
Well, for me, no matter what, it's how you treat other people. And to me, if you're snooty, and you treat other people bad,
Yeah.
to me, that's a deal breaker. So for me, it's got to be like, you got to have like respect for everybody. If you don't have respect for the waiter, waitress, bartender, garbage man, janitor,
It's just the smallest things like that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To me, it's your attitude. If you're basically, if you're uppity and snooty and you think you're better than everybody else, and you come across as disrespectful,
What's the word for that?
I'm trying to think.
You just don't want to say it.
No, I'm just old. I forget it. But I have pretentious. That's the word. If
I was looking for that.
He was thinking for a different word. Sure was thinking of a different word.
If you're basically a caring and pretentious, okay, then that's a deal breaker.
So you like him down to earth.
I like them down to earth.
Down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Most definitely. I don't mind if you're carrying a Gucci bag and, have like $1,000 Nikes on or whatever. Just don't be all snooty about yourself or pretentious thinking you're better than everybody.
anybody else,
Don't
right.
look down on other people, okay? Because like whether you drive like a 78 Toyota or a freaking Maserati, it doesn't matter. You can have money, but that doesn't mean...
It ain't gonna fix your soul.
Yeah, if you don't have a good soul, a good spirit,
Mm-hmm.
to me that's not attractive at all. And I mean, you could be like freaking Playmate of the Year, but if you're pretentious and all you want is like money, then I'm like, okay, go after your sugar daddy. Once he's done with his money, you're just gonna keep getting used.
He said, "Go after your sugar daddy."
We were
'cause to
looking
me,
at
that's what it is.
We were looking at your pictures anyways, so that's all we were looking at.
Yeah.
We were looking for nothing else.
Oh, dear. So I asked a question on social media, right? And it really amazed me by the responses that I got. I said, if you propose to a woman, your woman, and she says no, do you stay with her?
If she said you proposed and she said no to you,
Yes. So if you
how
propose
long
to
you
your
been
woman,
you've been with each other for a while though.
yeah, like however long you think it needs to be before you could picture yourself proposing to a woman, however you picture yourself proposing to a woman. So for some men, I'm calling her family, my family. We at this big gathering. She told me no. For other men, it's something intimate, and she just told me no. What do you stay with that woman?
Man, I would have to. I was already planning 10 years ago on. Man, I don't know. I'm running. Hell.
You leaving? You leaving? So she was running.
To me, I think it shouldn't be just like a question out of the blue. I think you should be with that person long enough where you already kind of know that she's gonna say yes.
It's not kind of know. You need to know.
Right. But what if you thought you knew? Because most people that propose, they think that they know.
They think that they know. Okay, so you have to have that idea in your head. Say, okay, we get along, and you've already checked off all these boxes in your head. Say, okay, she's like this, like this, like this. Okay, I can see myself being with her. Now, the other point is, I check off all the boxes in her head? Am I what she's looking for too? So it's got to be, you have to be self-aware and also aware of your relationship and your partner.
Right.
And so that way when you pop the question, you know it's going to be a yes.
Yeah.
But if at that point, if you think she's going to say yes and she says no, then of course you're going to feel rejected and small and hurt. But at that time, I also think that you also need to have a conversation between both of you.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Say, hey,
No.
why did you say no?
Right.
What's wrong with me or you or our relationship? What do you think can bring it to the next level where it'll be a yes? And I don't think it should be, that no should be a no forever. But that's a no at this point. Because at that point, there's something wrong in her mind that's not clicking. And if you really are truly committed to her and your relationship to move forward, you need to have that relationship no matter how hard it is and get past your own anger and doubt and whatever.
She got her own demons to fight.
Sure. The part that surprised me, there was like 50-something comments.
Yeah.
Only like 3 or 4 was like, it would depend on why she said no. All the other men, no. Hell no. Is you crazy? Would you still show up to practice if you know coach ain't gonna put you in the game? Like, they was really taking it like, and that really showed me like a lot of men have really big egos.
Yes.
Because I was like, so if this was your picture perfect woman, like she does, she's what you want in a wife. But because she said no, you're going to let your ego being hurt let you miss out on something that's amazing that could still be a future wife. And it was like, yep.
Well, we
Oh,
Because
okay.
their butt hurt.
my special one
egos.
from Wisconsin. I know that.
Yeah. They're basically butthurt and they're being selfish.
Well, that was it for Asians and Caucasians with our special guest, Miss Ashley HazelLove.
Yes.
So you guys stay tuned for her podcast coming out soon. And we thank you guys for tuning in with us. Make sure you guys do stick with us and hang out with us next week for a new episode here at Urban Culture Arts too. So take care, y'all.
Okay, peace out.
Period.